Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Good afternoon, Judge. My name is Dirk Ashball. I represent Jason Gatto. We're ready.
Are you Jason Guerra?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Guerra, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading? I'm sorry. Y'all had enough time to confer?
It was somebody else, Judge, and they're not here, but he's okay.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, it appears that you're proceeding on the indictment as presented. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Guerra, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of theft, $2,500 to $30,000? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Guerra, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. This will run concurrent with County Court Cause number 714096. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 60 hours of community service restitution, and CATs 1 and 2. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objection.
Mr. Guerra, I'm showing you what's entitled Wavering Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I would like to let the court know that Mr. Guetta looks a lot better than he did the first time I met him in jail a few months ago. Since then, the judge, he's gone through a lifetime recovery program for about a month and a half, completed a few other classes as part of that. He has definitely, I think, changed his mindset and is in front of you today, I think, with a positive attitude and kind of ready to make the most of this opportunity, Judge. I think he's sincere in that. And I have the certificates if the court would like to see, but
Yes.
He is ready, Judge, I think, to take maybe this next step. He has had some problems in the past. Right now he's working. He is got a potential to pick up another job, a little bit better job with more money, depending on what happens here, Judge, with this case. And he has another place to live. He's living with his, I think, his fiance, right? So his life is kind of moving to an upward trajectory, Judge, and I think this is a great opportunity for him to continue that. There's another opportunity for him to continue that, and that's just what I wanted to let the court know.
All right. Do you have employment?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
Painting?
And your fiance, does she have any children?
No, ma'am.
Is she in recovery?
No, ma'am. She don't do drugs.
Okay. So how did you two meet?
In school. We were boyfriend and girlfriend in middle school.
All right. So how did you contact her?
I met her through her cousin. I found her through her cousin again.
So why were you searching for her?
I wasn't searching for her. Her cousin ended up at my house party, at a party I was throwing, and I asked for her.
All right. So when was this house party? Was this before or after this?
2007.
Okay. And who is the person you were with during this theft? Are you still seeing them?
No, ma'am. I have no contact with that, sir, with that man.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you. All right. 4 years deferred adjudication, $500 fine probated. This will be concurred with 714096, CATs 1 and 2, 100 hours of community service restitution, a TAP evaluation out of custody, follow recommendations of TAP. We'll start with intensive outpatient treatment if they're recommending treatment. There's to be no contact with Michael James Martinez, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Clean.
For everything?
For everything, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. There's to be random UAs, random regular UAs, field visits, 1 time per month for 3 months, then at probation's discretion. And what are you doing to maintain your sobriety?
I'm currently going to a outpatient. I have an appointment on December 27th. Due to lifetime recovery, I asked my counselor if she could enroll me in that. So that's the earliest appointment I could get. And I'm going to a counselor for Central Services today. And what it is my counselor. We talk about my situations in life, what I'm doing, a couple of my abilities of drugs, and what I'm just doing in my life in reality. Everything going on in my life. And
all right. And this therapy is with who?
CHCS.
Okay.
It was getting through on pretrial.
Okay. Probation. Is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am. I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be in lifetime recovery, because it did help me, and it made me realize my decisions and choices I was making were wrong, and there's a better life without drugs.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. All right. And then we're going to have no contact with Target. And that's the Target that is located at 8223 State Highway 151. And he's to continue with therapy with Lifetime Recovery and Counseling with Center for Healthcare Services. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And did I mention cats 1 and 2?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Mary.
Oh, Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year. Happy Festivus. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy holidays.
Thanks,
Have a
Judge.
good day.
All right, you too. All right, Norma, and as soon as Suzanne is ready, we'll go on that. And then who's here with the interpreter? All right, thank you.
And Ben, for me to text him when you're ready.
Okay, all right.
I'm here, we said, I was like, sorry.
Oh, okay. All right, so we are going to do Zavala.
I'll be covering that for Joanne de Hoyos.
And is this an application? Yes. And is your client a citizen?
No.
Okay.
He did have an immigration attorney, if I could put a few things on the record.
All right, I will allow that. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 8359, State of Texas versus Jose Diego. How do you pronounce that name? Amicus Zavala. Thank you. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
The attorney of record is Joanne de Hoyos. Joseph states who's standing in. And would you give this judge permission for me to do this plea in place of Mr. Hoyos?
Yes. All right, we have an interpreter here. If you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Arlene Abrams, license number 2081.
All right. Mr. Amesquez, all of the documents I'm going to review with you are in English. Were those reviewed with you in Spanish?
See.
Yes.
And it's the court's understanding that Attorney Monica Guerrero went over the paperwork with him. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And she's fluent in Spanish?
She is.
All right. Counsel, have you received all of the discovery in this case, and was that reviewed with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Amesquez Zavala, did you review and sign the document entitled Application for Community Supervision? With your attorney, did you understand it?
Yes.
Did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment? With your attorney, did you understand it?
See.
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Amesquez Zavala, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
See.
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, third or more? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
See.
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
See.
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent.
Yes,
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
yes,
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
yes,
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent or was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Zavala, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
no,
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
no,
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
yes,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
no,
Defense?
Your Honor, our client is not a U.S. citizen, as stated. He was able to retain the services of an immigration attorney. That attorney is named Mr. Eric Bernal. We had received a plea offer. We put a detailed description, email terms of the plea offer. Mr. Hoyos had spoke with him over the phone multiple times. There's numerous emails back and forth. Mr. Bernal recommended the plea offer, that this particular one was actually favored, that Mr. Bernal preferred it. He will be deported. He understands that there's no promise that he could stay here legally. He does wish to have probation. We had discussed with him that technically a felony conviction is deportable by itself. But knowing this, he still wishes to go forward with the plea, and we have permission from his immigration attorney to follow this deal.
All right. Mr. Zavala, did you have ample opportunity to discuss with your immigration attorney the impact this plea bargain agreement would have on your immigration status?
yes,
Did your counsel advise you of the consequences of pleading no contest or guilty in this cause number and its impact on your immigration status?
yes,
Did your attorney discuss with you possible consequences such as deportation, the denial of naturalization, or re-entry into the United States by entering into a plea in this case?
yes,
And do you understand the consequences of entering a plea in this case and the impact it will have on your immigration status?
Yes.
yes,
Counsel, do you believe your client understands the impact this plea will have on his immigration status?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Mr. Zavala, did you review the plea bargain agreement with the state? With your attorney, and did you understand it?
yes,
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 7 years in the prison. There's a $500 fine. The state recommends community supervision. There is the VIP panel, ignition interlock for half the term, and a 2-year driver's license suspension. Did you understand that to be the plea?
yes,
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places, Mr. Zavala?
yes,
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
yes,
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Did you review outside the agreement? The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 7 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours community service restitution, 10 days house arrest in lieu of 10 days in the Bexar County Jail. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you review the document stipulation with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor, we waive PSI.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, that you follow the recommendation.
All right. Court will sentence you to 7 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 7 years. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. Victim impact panel, DWI intervention, DWI education, ignition interlock for half the term. I'm sorry, I started talking fast. 2 years driver's license suspension, 10 days in the Bexar County Jail as a condition of probation, 120 hours of community service restitution, TAP evaluation in custody, follow recs, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs. If deported, no illegal reentry into the United States. If he's not deported, then I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. And then it will be at probation's discretion. Proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right. And do a gang evaluation probation. All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Good luck to you. Thank you.
If the dog anymore.